Hey, how's it going, everyone? It is Drew again. We're back with another chapter of Deadrock, chapter 24, A Class on Living. We actually have two cover pages for this chapter. We have a colored cover page with Yakuto on it, which is really cool looking. I really love this cover. And most of the covers have had black and red as the aesthetic for like the logo, or purple and pink for the Deadrock logo, not really a blue. So I actually really love this different shade on this cover. And the actual cover page for this chapter has Lilith on it with some one-eyed bats in the background. So the chapter picks up with Yakuto about to face off against Frey, which that's pretty much the whole beginning part of this chapter. But in the meantime, their classmates are also enacting their plan to potentially save the two of them. Honestly, Yakuto and Frey go pretty all out right away and punching each other and kind of going back and forth, which their fight does eventually get interrupted because you get all the battle pets released into the arena, and that actually was their plan, to interrupt this fight to make it to where they don't have to kill one another so everyone gets distracted. And honestly, it's probably the one good thing that Luzin did, to where he had these left over to where they can use it as a distraction. The demon teachers pretty much pick up immediately that they're doing this as a plan to, have them not fight one another. And God honestly looks pretty stoic about this. He just puts his hand up to the air and summons in a bunch of beams of light. Honestly, kind of reminds me of like Grand Chariot from Fairy Tale, with like Jalal opening up the heavens. With some pretty serious precision, he is targeting all the battle pets to where the arena is left unscathed, along with Yakuto and Frey, so they can continue their fight. And he quite literally just handled the problem single-handedly, and their distraction really didn't do much of anything, and the tournament commences onward. Honestly, kind of love the reaction of Yakuto, like, oh my gosh, he just did that. He literally just took them all out with like surgical precision and left everyone unscathed just so that their fight can continue. Like, this guy can do this. And this really did put them into a dilemma, because that plan didn't work, and now they're going to be forced to have to kill one another, or if he forfeits, Frey will die, or he will have to die. Either way, someone's dying. But before they can figure out their moral quandary, God is like, well, you don't seem to be fighting right now, and you're kind of misbehaving. So I'm going to have to teach you guys a little lesson about ruining this tournament, which has their homeroom teacher Saru enter the arena, and he's got those Dragon Slayer glowing eyes, which actually in a way works out in Yakuto and Frey's favor, because God switches the rules. Instead of those two having to fight each other, now they're teaming up to fight Saru, which even both of them do notice that something's a little off with them, especially the shadowy face and glowing eye. Before they even get to figure out at all what's happening with Saru, they just both get attacked by him with his gigantic staff, hitting both of them at the same exact time, which kind of a cool move there. But that is definitely not enough to take down Yakuto and Frey, and they both team up to attack him, which I actually really like this panel with them both attacking him at the same time, with Yakuto punching him and Frey kicking him. Very cool. But even with them ganging up on him, it doesn't seem to do too much to him, because he seems to be countering them pretty effectively, to the point that it forces both Yakuto and Frey to start using their roots. And to be honest, they don't even really get a chance to even start using their roots, because the whole stadium just like caves in. And at that moment is when Saru finally snaps out of his mind control and starts talking to Frey and Yakuto openly that they need to kill him and they need to live on. I think pretty interesting that you get to know another power about God here, that he brainwashed Saru into fighting them, which is definitely more freaky for Yakuto, because he's like, oh gosh, I gotta face this guy, and now we can brainwash people as another power. But I genuinely like that Saru wants to love and care for his students, and he's teaching him one last class, and that is a class on living. really doesn't seem like he wants to do anything to hurt his students, and he actually does seem to very much want to help Yakuto and Frey. And the final page of this chapter has Lilith talking to God, with Lilith saying that God was being pretty kind on letting them be able to team up against their homeroom teacher to spare one of them from dying. And God is pretty heartless here because he's like, no, I don't care about their love or their friendships at all. This fight will only have one survivor. And I actually really like this panel with him having the one finger. Also, he had that earlier in the chapter when he did his attack. But the one finger with that sunset background, very ominous. And with that, it is the end of this chapter, so my thoughts. Pretty much a no-win scenario here, especially with the one survivor line. God is not being very nice here, and he's probably going to be even more mean the next chapter. And if you're taking it as this one survivor thing, that means there's about to be some deaths coming up. Overall, a pretty fast chapter and added to God's abilities and made Yakuto a bit more terrified of him and also made the situation quite a bit more dire. So what are your guys' thoughts on this chapter? Leave in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Drago signing out.